Dramatic retellings of historical figures' lives are becoming a lot more popular now. First we had Trial of the Chicago 7, and now we have Judas and the Black Messiah. At this point, I don't know what could be next. There's so many historical figures that we could talk about, but at this point, I don't know who could be next on the roster for Hollywood to make. There's just too many historical figures to talk about. Hey guys, it's Zadie. I'm here in Flytte Kartina. That's my YouTube channel. I do movie reviews, movie analysis, trailer thoughts, stuff like that. If you're interested in anything that I just said, go ahead and check out my channel. Also click subscribe. I'm trying to make it to 800 subscribers by the end of 2021. So if you guys could help me reach that goal, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel. Today's movie review is going to be on the latest release from Warner Brothers, which is Judas and the Black Messiah, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. This movie just released on HBO Max for streaming and also in some theaters that are open, so I got to watch it on streaming platform, which is not the best, but it's still a movie, so I got to watch it. So this movie was directed by Shaka King, and it's following the life of Fred Hampton, who was the deputy chairman of the National Black Panther Party. He was assassinated in Chicago in 1969, and it basically tells the events leading up to it. Now, this is a completely non-spoiler movie review. I won't spoil anything impervious to the plot that nobody already knows already based on trailers or the description that I just read to you, which is a public description. Just wanted to make that in here before I get actually started on the movie review. So let's start with things that I actually enjoyed about this. As a movie, I really enjoyed it. I think that it was a very interesting retelling of the life of Fred Hampton and just the way that people ran a revolution, ran the Black Panther Party, just a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look into it, rather than the face of everything that happened during the time of the Black Panther Party in the 1960s and 70s. I thought that the stylistic elements that were in it and the way that they shot it was actually very beautiful. The coloring that they used, it really drew me into the world, and I really loved how they colored it and shot it and just crafted the world that we were living in while I was watching the movie. This movie did not have a bad cast member because the entire ensemble, they acted amazing, and I think their performances were very, very good. Everybody who was in the ensemble, anybody who made an appearance on screen, I loved their performance. I think that they did a fantastic job. They were passionate about what they were showing on screen and acting in front of the camera, and they knew their creativity was off the charts. Daniel Kaluuya is an amazing actor. You know, he has these eyes that just keep you in, and just the way that his facial expressions, and you see the micro expressions of his acting and the way that he reacts to other people, and his stare, you just get lost in his eyes and you just can't, you're trapped and you can't get out. It's more of a feeling of entrapment rather than getting lost. And his speeches were amazing. I mean, the way that he would say words, obviously these are words that other people have said, and they're paraphrasing and quoting from the real life Fred Hampton, but how Daniel Kaluuya really said the words and his enunciation of certain points, or the way that he would just hold himself while he was giving a speech, it was just so entrancing, and you could just, you felt everything that the audience was feeling, like the audience in where he was giving his speeches. You could feel everything that was happening. Dominique Fishback is an amazing actress. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything. I just don't watch these kinds of movies all the time, so I don't think I've ever seen her in a lot of things, but I did really enjoy her performance. I think that her performance is really what created the heart around Fred Hampton. The character Fred Hampton is what her character did, and how she acted and reacted to things that were happening in the world. Also, Jesse Plemons, who was in The Master. I do not like that movie. I mean, it's a good movie. I love it. Like, it's great storytelling, but it's so creepy. I can't. But Jesse Plemons in that, he brought some of that creepiness to himself, and the sort of like, I know more than you do sort of look that he has. But it was also, you could see the sympathy behind everything that him as an FBI agent was doing, and just like this isn't right, but why are we doing this? And it's the 60s, so nobody really asked a lot of questions in relation to race, because that's just kind of what happened. And you just see the dichotomy between the Black Panther Party and the police task forces or the FBI or whatever. You just see their different values, and you can see both sides of the picture. But the movie is airing on the side of the Black Panther Party and the life of Fred Hampton, so there's bias towards there, but that's kind of obvious, so I don't know why that would be a bad point. The way that this was shot, it was beautifully done. I loved the acting. The cast of characters were so interesting to me and intricate, and I loved every part of the plot in like all of the B storylines that go on with all the other characters. Those are probably my two main things that I really loved. I also really enjoyed Daniel Kaluuya's performance especially, but Lakeith Stanfield actually also did an amazing job. His internal struggle, you could see it and just feel what he was going through, but he has to also keep up this, you know, face and this facade of, I'm a powerful man and I have my own free will, but does he really? And that was the whole point of the story. So let's move on to things that I did not enjoy about this movie. Not that I didn't enjoy it, I just didn't think it was completely necessary. The revolution of the Black Panther Party, the actual things, they repeated this one phrase a lot where it was, the people are the power. But we never actually saw any of that power being expressed, except for one scene. The one scene where, I won't spoil it, but this entire neighborhood comes and helps the Black Panther Party that is underneath Fred Hampton. It's a moment, but they don't show a lot of that moment. It's just one tiny little scene, and then they mention it afterwards, but it just doesn't, we don't see any of the power of the people in this movie, for a movie that is about how the people give the power. So that was a little bit weird and not very true to what they were saying, but I understand that this movie was about the life of Fred Hampton. It's not strictly about the Black Panther Party and what they believe and how they did things and all that kind of thing. So Lakeith Stanfield plays Bill O'Neill, who was an FBI informant, and so he would tell the FBI of things and they would do raids, and like he was an informant and helped the FBI. I don't know if it was take down the Black Panther Party, but just, I don't know what the actual thing was, but he was in the a rat inside of the Black Panther Party, and a very high ranking informant too. And so the life of Bill O'Neill was a lot more than just the struggle of being an FBI informant and a part of the Black Panther Party. He did so many great things and all of this history behind him, but that wasn't actually shown. You only saw the struggle that he had with being an informant and also in something that would help his people, help his race, help everybody who is in his ethnic group. So there's a little bit of weirdness that happens there. You just think that this guy was just, he just was there and he was struggling the entire time about the FBI, being an FBI informant in the Black Panther Party. He did a lot of other things. After doing some research, he did do a lot of fantastic things, and there are so many other great aspects, and if you watch the documentary that they mention at the end of the movie, it's really striking and very interesting. They don't mention any of that, they just mention the struggle, which I understand because it is about Fred Hampton. It's not about Bill O'Neill, but Bill O'Neill is the main character, so what does that mean? I think those are my two biggest points that I have to make that are against this movie, is that they didn't show the power of people, and then Bill O'Neill's life wasn't exactly deep and as multifaceted as it actually was, which is the hard thing about a biopic and dramatizing all of these things, because you can't include everything. If you included everything about a person's life, it'd be a very boring movie or a boring book. Movies and books and literature and stuff is life with the empty space taken out. So you only show the most exciting things. You don't show the mundane parts of life as much. So that I understand, but like seriously, Bill O'Neill has done some amazing things for the Black Panther Party or for different aspects of the 60s and 70s. But I think the most striking thing about this whole ordeal is that Fred Hampton was 21 when he was assassinated by the Chicago Police Task Force. He was 21. And he was so influential and such a visionary for the Black Panther Party, for African Americans at large. His speeches that Daniel Kaluuya paraphrased and quoted and relayed to the audience are amazing. The things that he believed in, the things that he fought for are very interesting, and then the life of this man, of both being a slave to the revolution and a free man is just, it's so cool. So I think all in all, I do really like this movie. I don't think I could watch it again. It's a very heavy movie. I don't think I can watch it again, but it's very, it's a one watch sort of thing. And if you can watch it in theaters, I would highly suggest you do, because then you just get drawn into the world. I had to watch it with like all of my lights off. It was just me and the computer screen. So that's what was my movie theater experience. But if you can watch it in the theaters, I really suggest that you do. If you like anything or agree with anything that I said so far, let me know in the comments down below, or you can give this video a like so that I know that you liked it and I can keep doing these kinds of things. If you really like what I said, like amazing, it was like fantastic, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be one of the first people to know when I upload a new video, go ahead and hit the bell notification icon. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great random Thursday, and I will see you on the other side of the screen. Thank you.